So if you've ever tried to force yourself into one of those, hyper-disciplined lifestyles,
Oh, yeah.
maybe a 30-day weight loss blitz or that 75 hard challenge that's everywhere,
Right.
you know exactly how this goes. For the first week, you are a machine. You're eating clean, hitting every single workout. You've basically perfected future you.
But then reality hits.
It always does. A flat tire, a crisis at work, you forget an anniversary.
And that's when the wagon doesn't just tip over. It bursts into flames. And you're left feeling guiltier than when you started.
Exactly.
But that failure, and this is key, it isn't your fault. The research we've been looking at for this deep dive, it confirms the model itself is just. It's fundamentally flawed.
Flawed because it demands perfection.
It demands perfection from a future version of you who is inevitably going to be tired or stressed or distracted.
And the numbers are, they're just staggering. It's something like 95 to 98% of people who actually succeed on these plans, they regain all that weight.
Or even more.
Or more, right, within just 3 years. It's because the whole model relies on brute force willpower.
Which is a finite resource. It runs out.
It absolutely does.
And that's why today, in this deep dive, we're focusing on something completely different. It's what our sources are calling the invisible edge.
The invisible edge. I like that.
The whole system of these tiny, low-friction choices, we're talking 5 to 60 seconds, max.
Yeah.
And they completely bypass the need for willpower or any kind of future planning.
Plan-free discipline. I love that idea.
That's it.
And it's built on 2 core scientific truths, right? First, from James Clear, we know that behaviors under 2 minutes, they stick at 6 to 8 times the rate of longer ones.
That's the behavioral proof right there. And then you have the neurochemistry of it. Andrew Huberman's data shows that a micro win, say drinking a glass of water first thing, it triggers a dopamine release that's comparable to a huge accomplishment. But, and this is crucial, because the effort was so small, you don't get the fatigue. You don't get the crash.
You just bank the win.
You just bank the win.
Yeah. So our mission today is pretty simple. We are stripping away all the complexity. We're unpacking the science and hundreds of these micro actions to install discipline so quietly you won't even notice.
We want to make winning the default.
Yes.
But to do that, we have to start with why our brain, our ancient brain, kind of sets us up to fail in the first place.
Right. Your brain isn't broken.
No, it's ancient. When humans evolved, food was scarce. Our brains are hardwired to maximize calories whenever they're available.
And today, calories are everywhere.
Every corner store, every app.
Yeah.
So that same wiring becomes a massive weakness.
Okay, so this is a critical reframe then. When you feel that sudden, intense hunger pang, that's not a moral failing.
No, it's just a transient neurochemical wave passing through your system.
A wave.
Exactly. And the most important wave to understand is ghrelin, the so-called hunger hormone.
Okay.
It spikes dramatically right before you normally eat. But here's the massive insight from the labs at Stanford and from Huberman. Even during a long fast, that ghrelin spike is only active for a very short window.
How short?
We're talking 40 to 90 seconds.
Wait. You're saying that overwhelming feeling of, I have to eat this entire pizza right now or I'll collapse, only lasts for about a minute and a half.
That's the physiological truth of it. So if you can just deploy one tiny micro action that delays you for 90 seconds, you functionally won.
You surf the wave.
You surf the wave and it crashes harmlessly on the shore. It's a series of 90-second sprints. It's not a marathon.
That makes it feel so much more possible. But what about the deeper stuff? Like when people feel hungry all the time, even after a good meal, you mentioned leptin resistance.
Right, which is often tied to what's called chronic hyperinsulinemia.
Can you break that down for us?
For sure. So hyperinsulinemia just means your body is constantly swimming in too much insulin, usually from constant carbohydrate intake.
Okay.
And that state makes your brain's satiety signal a hormone called leptin that's supposed to say, hey, we're full. It basically makes your brain numb to it. It's a bit like a car alarm that's been blaring for so long, you stop hearing it. Your brain genuinely believes you are starving, even if you're carrying excess energy.
So the brain is legitimately being tricked into demanding more fuel.
Absolutely. And then you layer on the dopamine problem. Highly processed food, it just floods our reward centers, causing these D2 receptors to downregulate.
Meaning you need more to feel good?
You need a bigger and bigger hit, a larger meal, a sweeter snack, just to get that baseline pleasure you used to get from, an apple.
And the final piece here is our willpower muscle, the prefrontal cortex. That's where we feel that decision fatigue at the end of a long day.
It gets tired, just like any muscle. But, and this is amazing, it recovers incredibly fast. The sources show the prefrontal cortex battery can recharge in under 60 seconds.
Under a minute. How?
With intentional, deliberate breath work, or just a momentary blast of cold exposure. Again, micro-actions are the precise antidote.
Okay, so the science gives us a 90-second hunger window and a 60-second brain recovery time. If we connect this to, say, ancient wisdom, we get some really powerful anchors.
We do.
The Stoics were basically talking about surviving that 90-second wave, weren't they?
Precisely. The Stoic dichotomy of control. It teaches that you don't control the craving itself. That's just external noise. You only control your next 5-second action.
It forces you into the present moment.
Yes.
And what about the Buddhist idea of the second arrow? That seems to fit perfectly here.
It's the perfect framework. The first arrow is the physical pang of hunger. The second arrow is the story we tell ourselves.
I'm weak. I always fail. I deserve this.
You skip the second arrow. Just acknowledge the feeling without judgment, and the pain of it just drops exponentially.
And for anyone who really struggles with resisting, I found this application of Nietzsche's amor fati to be fascinating.
It's a game changer.
Instead of dreading the hunger, you learn to love that exact sensation. You reframe it internally.
This feeling is the feeling of me becoming who I want to be.
This is the feeling of becoming unstoppable.
That relabeling turns what was a moment of suffering into a positive feedback loop. And that brings us right into the core system, how to make all this automatic.
All right, let's unpack the 4 universal levers that can turn pretty much any behavior into an automatic win. So, lever 1, make it tiny.
Under 2 minutes, ideally under 30 seconds.
Lever 2, attach it to an existing trigger. That's the classic habit stacking.
Right. You bolt the new tiny habit onto something you already do without thinking.
Yeah.
Like after I pour my coffee, I immediately tidy my desk for just 20 seconds.
Lever 3, redesign your environment in these little 10-second bursts, making the right choice easy and visible.
And lever 4, which people often forget, celebrate instantly. Give yourself that silent fist pump.
Ah, the dopamine hit.
You have to anchor the new behavior with an immediate emotional win. That's what makes it stick.
So these universal micro moves are what you can deploy instantly. The 10-second breath reset, for example, that leverages that 60-second brain reset we talked about.
Yeah, and it's a specific technique. It's the physiological sigh. A 4-second inhale through the nose, a 6-second hold, and then a really slow 8-second exhale.
And that immediately shifts your nervous system.
Pulls you right out of fight or flight.
And when you're paralyzed by choice, in the kitchen, at your desk, you use the next right move whisper.
Yes. You just ignore the giant overwhelming project. You only ask yourself, what is the single next 5-second move that gets me going?
And you just do that one thing.
Only that. Maybe it's just putting on your running shoes. Maybe it's opening a new document.
And the microenvironment hack is huge. This takes less than 15 seconds.
It could be as simple as grabbing the tub of protein powder and putting it right next to your keys so you literally can't miss it.
Or taking 10 seconds to throw away the pizza box so you don't have that visual cue to order again tomorrow.
And when you stack these tiny choices, you get this compounding effect we call the morning cascade. You're casting these powerful identity votes first thing in the day.
Okay, let's just dedicate a moment to the psychological power of that. So you wake up, micro move 1, 5 push-ups, that's what, 12 seconds? 2, cold water just on your arms in the shower, 20 seconds. 3, drink a big glass of water, 30 seconds. 4, make your bed, 45 seconds.
So before the day has even really started, you've spent less than 2 minutes total, but you have 4 objective, non-negotiable wins in the bank.
4 votes for the identity, I'm a disciplined person.
Exactly. And the rest of the day just tends to obey that early momentum.
Right, but what happens when that craving hits? And it hits hard. We need those instant neurological kill switches.
The 3 to 30-second moves for when ghrelin is spiking and you need an immediate override.
And the most effective one cited seems to be the vagus nerve hack.
This one is incredible. It's said to kill up to 70% of cravings immediately. It works by stimulating the nerve that regulates your body's rest and digest system.
And to do it, you just press your tongue hard against the roof of your mouth.
And follow it with a really hard swallow. It's physical, it's instant, requires zero equipment. You can do it anywhere.
Another one is the respiratory override. 10 rapid, sharp nasal breaths.
That quickly elevates your CO2 tolerance, which can momentarily flatten that ghrelin wave and just reset your stress response.
Or you can use sensory overrides to kind of shock the system. Splash cold water on your face, back of your neck.
That's the diving reflex. Or, for something less obvious, just a 5-second sip of ice-cold water held in your mouth. Or chewing really intense mint gum for 15 seconds.
Why does that work?
It creates this massive competing sensory input. It stimulates the trigeminal nerve and basically gives your brain a fire break.
And when it's anxiety or stress that's triggering the craving, there's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique.
Right. Name 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste.
It just snaps you out of that emotional loop.
Puts you right back in the physical present. And if the craving is just pure excess energy, you deploy micro-replacement moves.
So don't resist the energy, redirect it.
Exactly. Do 20 air squats. Or, and this is one of those powerful moves, text someone you love and tell them why you appreciate them.
That's the secret weapon, isn't it?
It really is. That connection triggers oxytocin, which is a powerful, non-crash reward. It replaces that cheap dopamine hit you were looking for from the cookie.
So we don't just want to kill cravings, we want effortless control at every meal.
And there are tiny moves that can tilt every single meal in your favor.
My favorite is the protein first fork.
So simple.
The first 3 bites of every meal have to be protein. That immediately primes your satiety levers. It tells your brain satisfaction is on the way.
And you can combine that with the half-plate green first rule. You cover half your plate with non-starchy vegetables before anything else even touches it.
Which drastically lowers the caloric density without you having to count or measure anything.
And then there's a 20 chews per bite rule. It forces you to slow down.
Yeah.
It lets your digestion catch up so you get the I'm full signal before you've overeaten.
Or the simple water before bite. 1 big gulp of water before every single forkful.
On the environmental side, brushing your teeth at 8 p.m., it sends this powerful psychological signal that the kitchen is closed.
And the restaurant hacks. Order first before your friends can influence you. And box half the meal immediately when it arrives.
You're controlling the environment, so you don't have to rely on controlling your willpower.
And this mindset extends perfectly to fasting, right? We already know hunger comes in those 40 to 90-second waves.
You just have to surf them out.
And for those 90 seconds, you have instant hunger busters.
Right. Chug sparkling water, which distends the stomach. Do 10 of those deep physiological sighs. Even smelling ground coffee can work. Or a 30-second cold shower on just your forearms.
And to extend a fast, you should never try to just decide to go longer.
No, you use micro-delay tactics. You delay breakfast by telling yourself just one more task. You do that over and over. After dinner, immediately brush your teeth and say out loud, "Kitchen closed."
What about that midday energy crash? The one that sends you straight to the vending machine.
The fixes are all under 2 minutes. 2 minutes of bright sunlight, ideally barefoot on the ground. Or 30 jumping jacks followed by a cold face splash.
A burst of movement and cold.
It increases alertness without relying on sugar or, a gallon of coffee.
The ultimate tool, though, is the trigger you use at that precise moment of choice. Mel Robbins' 5-second countdown is so powerful.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. It just launches you into action before your brain can talk you out of it.
Or that internal whisper, which ties right back to the identity piece we were talking about.
What would the version of me I respect most do right now?
And these triggers are universal. They work for skipping the donut, for starting the big report.
Or for pausing one breath before you snap at a loved one.
And every single time you deploy one of these tiny actions, you're casting a single, undeniable vote for a new identity.
I am the type of person who pauses.
Exactly. Cast enough of those votes, and the identity just shifts.
And when the identity shifts, the behavior becomes automatic. You don't have to resist the junk food anymore to get that action. It just isn't for you. It doesn't align with who you believe you are.
And that really is the core takeaway here. This is the invisible edge. No massive plans, no apps, no streaks.
Just 5 to 60-second moves deployed instantly.
It creates this silent discipline. And the results, they're compounded, they're consistent, and they're truly staggering.
The core benefit is that your body transforms quietly.
Yeah.
Your energy just becomes the default state, and willpower becomes... well, it becomes unnecessary because your environment and your identity are doing all the heavy lifting for you.
So we'd encourage you, just start today with one single micro action. Don't try to build the whole cascade at once.
No, just one.
Try the tongue on the roof of your mouth trick the next time a craving hits, or use that 10-second breath reset before you open your email. Start small.
And here's the provocative thought we want to leave you with. The real mark of mastery here is that most people won't even notice the tiny things you're doing. They will just observe that you seem calmer, leaner, more productive, and they'll wonder how you do it all without ever seeming to try. Use that thought to go cast your first vote right now. Go do it.